Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Sound like we're a barbershop quartet missing two of our members.
So just a barbershop duo.
Yeah, but we still leave gaps for the other two.
We've been practicing for months. We don't know how to do it any other way.
We've only
Our other two guys couldn't make it.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Send me a kiss by what?
That's the part where Ricky would have popped in.
Thanks for explaining my joke.
I'm adding to it. I'm expanding on it.
Okay.
That was also part of the joke because I have to explain it to the audience.
Okay.
This is a bad setup. Start it again.
Okay, all right. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We're looking at this show this week because we've been asked to
Demanded.
by our Club Mesmeron, Molly the Changeling. This is a request.
A demand.
A demand, a request, I can't think of another synonym. It's Bomberman. Oh, wait, play the theme song.
You spoiled it.
It's Bomberman. It's Bomberman Jetters.
Yeah, it's a different flavor of Bomberman this time.
Do you have any history with Bomberman Jetters?
No.
I have one history with it. I saw the game on a shelf and I wanted it, but I didn't buy it.
Cool story.
That's my entire history with Bomberman Jetters.
If it's not Bomberman 64, I don't know anything.
No, it's funny. Well, what did you think of the theme song?
I liked it.
I liked it. It was pretty catchy. It's no Wild Vision, but
nothing will ever beat Wild Vision.
I think if I sat and watched a lot of this show, this song I could see getting into my head. It's called "I'm at the Limit," and it's by Hideo Suwa, who's known for doing a lot of songs for Beatmania and pop and music games.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of those rhythm game artists.
Yeah. It's probably a really lucrative career, huh? If you can get on the rhythm game circuit.
Oh, yeah. There are some names that I see in multiple games, because, like, rhythm games like to include each other in their games all the time.
Yeah.
There's crossovers, hither and yon.
Yeah.
And so there are names that I see everywhere, and songs that live in my heart.
So Bomberman Jetters was apparently an anime first, but there were two Jetters manga released before the show started. They are called Bomberman Jetters and Let's Go Bomberman Jetters.
Okay.
But everywhere I could find those manga, they all say that the manga were based on the show. So I'm assuming that the manga were made but while the show was in production.
Sure, let's go with that.
The first one came out like 5 months before the show did, so I don't know. But, you know, manga is quicker to make than a TV show is, so.
Yeah.
But there is not a lot of documentation about the Jetters sub-franchise in general on the English internet because we didn't get that much Jetters stuff.
Yeah, what's the deal with Jetters? Why is he any different from when he was shooting marbles out of his stomach?
Well, he's not shooting marbles out of his stomach anymore.
It's a damn shame.
When I was looking up this show, when I was looking up this show, it takes a lot of elements from a lot of different incarnations of Bomberman and kind of mashes them together.
Mm-hmm.
And I do get some Biederman vibe here. Like, it feels similar. And I wonder if this was just... Because this will have been after the point where Biederman had become its own franchise, separate from Bomberman.
Right.
So I wonder if this is them trying to, like, do their own Biederman without the Biederman license.
Maybe.
Because it still has that vibe of, like, it's a team of guys in a spaceship.
Yeah, but it got so dramatic.
It got pretty dramatic. So did Biederman. They both got pretty dramatic.
I guess, but, like, it feels weird for Bomberman.
I from what I've seen of later episodes, it does seem like it's a pretty comedic show.
It just starts off extremely dramatic.
Yeah, because like when I was looking up the villain, there's a lot of pictures of him doing silly stuff. We don't get a good look at him in this episode, but there's a lot of pictures of him like playing golf and things like that in different costumes and
In costumes.
yeah, and I think the villain turns out not to be so bad. I think it turns out he's like his whole thing is that he was rebuffed for his affections by Bomberman's grandmother.
Okay.
In the past. So the most recent game in the Bomberman series when this came out was Bomberman Generations. There was a Bomberman Jetters game for the Game Boy Advance that was released a couple weeks after this show debuted. It was developed by Amble, who mostly made handheld games based on anime. But they also made a couple of Bomberman story games, and they co-developed Mario Party Advance and My Sims Party, apparently.
Why so many party games?
That's just what they were doing, I guess. That game never got released outside Japan, but I looked into it. I watched some of a playthrough of it. It's very clearly a side story to the anime, and it expects players to have seen the show to understand what's happening, so...
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't think it came first. It's definitely made. I think the show definitely came before the game did. So the show first aired on October 2nd, 2002 on TV Tokyo, where most of my favorite anime air. And it was animated by Studio Dean, who we've seen before.
What have they done?
They did that Tekken thing we watched.
Oh, yeah.
And they also did both Higurashi and Umineko.
Okay.
They're pretty good. I liked the way this show looked.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah. They made 52 episodes, and the one we looked at today was the first one, which is called The Idol Bomberman, and it was written by Atsushi Meikawa, who wrote a lot for Dragon Ball and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Apparently.
Okay. I've heard those names.
Yeah, we've watched one of them for this show.
I've watched some Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in my day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've only watched abridged Yu-Gi-Oh!
I mean, same thing.
I've seen one episode of Dragon Ball, the first one.
I watched a couple episodes of a Dragon Ball, probably Z.
Yeah, I've watched the first episode of Z, and that's all I've seen. I've watched the first episode of Z, and I've read the first 3 volumes of original Dragon Ball. So, the show opens in space, and this is where I immediately got a Biederman vibe.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Biederman also opened with talk about like people being greedy and stuff, and
Something like that. A demon took over the king. Or,
oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's right. Bomberman's dad was the
Yeah.
golden guy
With a demon in his belly.
with a demon in his belly, and wasn't the demon called like Black Mother or something?
I forgot about Black Mother.
Here we're introduced to our villain for Jetters, whose name is Bagura.
It's Dark Mother.
Oh, Dark Mother, my mistake. Bagura is the main recurring villain of the Bomberman franchise, going back to Bomberman 94.
Wow.
Somehow I have, like, all of the Bomberman games I've played are all of the ones that don't have him in.
Never met him personally.
No, but because he's been around so long and has a kind of ambiguous Japanese name, it's been localized in many different ways over the years. Are you ready for this list of different ways that Bagura's name has been localized?
Absolutely.
We have Buglia.
Buglia?
We have Bagula. We have Bugler.
Bugler?
We have Bugler.
Like Bugler?
Buglar.
A bug butler?
Well,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Well, kind of. There's also Bugler. And Bugala.
Okay.
And Burglar.
That's less fun.
And Bagula.
I think the first one's my favorite.
Buglia.
Buglia.
Yeah, Bagura seems to be the most commonly accepted. He's had a lot of different designs over the years. Sometimes he's more of a human, sometimes he's more of a robot, sometimes he's a big blue potato man.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's played by Mugi Hito, who played Kinzo in the Umineko anime. Remember him?
Which, no. Was that the crazy old man?
Yeah, he's the guy who was in the upper room screaming at the storm.
That's literally the only thing that came to mind. Him yelling, Beatrice! Into the sky.
Yep, that's the guy. We don't get to see a lot of Bagura in this episode. We actually don't even see his face, do we?
I don't think so.
We just see him holding a wine glass and addressing his minions, the Hige Hige bandits. They're another recurring Bomberman element.
They're strange.
I like them.
I don't dislike them, but I don't understand them. Quite literally.
They remind me of the Mega Man Legends, you know, the little Lego guys. Surfbots, that's what they're called. They have that kind of vibe.
No, this is what they remind me of. That is a tiny picture. Pathetic. Weak and pathetic. Give me the salt.
I was going to say if you didn't.
This is what they remind me of.
Oh, is that Sergeant Frog?
That is Sergeant Frog.
Okay. Yes, I see that, looks-wise. I was going vibe-wise. Vibe-wise, they remind me of Surfbots.
Oh, so if we marry our two ideas and they had a baby.
Then we get the Hige Hige Bandits, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Hige Hige Bandits first appeared in Saturn Bomberman, although the English version changed their name to the Meanie Gang.
The Meanie Gang. It's like Team Meanies.
Yeah. They are known as the Hige Hige Bandits in more recent games. They're just an army of little robot dudes. I think they're generally, like, pretty neutral.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like the Goombas of the Bomberman series, but they go back and forth. Like, in some games you can play as one, and then it's usually, like, the one you play as usually is given a random number. Like, in one game you're playing as number 12, and in one game you're playing as number 15, and stuff like that.
Okay.
I like them. I think they're funny.
They're cute.
Yeah.
But they speak just by saying Hige.
Yeah, yeah. And they're played by Hiroyuki Harada, who I couldn't really find anything about. I think he was a staff member on the show rather than an actor, because he doesn't have, like, any credits, really. And all he does is scream Hige, so I can see why they maybe wouldn't feel the need to hire an actor for that.
Well, you have to scream Hige believably.
That's true. But maybe he just did the temp Hige, and they were like, you know, it's good enough. Now we go to a dramatic scene where we see Shirobon for the first time with his big brother at the sunset. And Shirobon is crying.
He's scared, and we're never quite told why.
Shirobon is always the name of the White Bomber Man. We usually call him White Bomber in English, but I feel like Shirobon feels more like a name, even though it basically does mean White Bomber. It feels more like a name than White Bomber does, you know?
Yeah, you're saying don't bother to translate it and just call him Shirobon?
I've pretty much just called him Shirobon throughout my notes, but yeah. I mean, I'll probably go back and forth between calling him White Bomber and Shirobon, but I always thought it was a shame that they the English versions of all of the Bomberman games, it feels like they have titles rather than names.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like that in the Japanese versions. I've always thought it's strange.
It's just a language quirk.
So we just call them all White Bomber and Black Bomber and Pink Bomber and stuff.
You can't just call him Black Bomber.
Dark Bomber. I think there is a couple games that changed it to Dark Bomber. Shirobon is played by Tomoko Kaneda, who played Chirithi in Kingdom Hearts. Who the hell is Chirithi in Kingdom Hearts?
That's gotta be Kingdom Hearts 3, right?
I don't know.
Kingdom Hearts. Chirithi. Oh, he's a little kitty cat. He's cute.
Yeah? Is he in 3?
Yeah. I don't know. Kingdom Hearts Wiki, tell me your secrets.
Oh, he's a kind of dream eater.
Oh, he's
He
cute.
first appears in Kingdom Hearts Key. I haven't played that one. Wasn't that like a mobile game or something? Online browser game.
Even better.
It looks like he's in 3 as well, though, because he has a really highly rendered model here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's cute.
okay. He only appears in ones I haven't played. I feel like Kingdom Hearts needs to stop introducing new characters. Because I can't keep
I feel like Kingdom Hearts needs to stop.
See, now people used to say that about Sonic, and I used to be like, no, we need more characters all the time, more characters. And people say it about Pokemon, and I'm like, no, we need more Pokemon every time, more Pokemon.
Pokemon is different.
Now I'm saying it about Kingdom Hearts. I'm such a hypocrite.
Kingdom Hearts is also different because Kingdom Hearts doesn't need more characters to bloat its convoluted story.
Yeah, I guess Kingdom Hearts isn't really that kind of series.
Right.
We don't so much need more characters, we just need more worlds in Kingdom Hearts. I think.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
More worlds, less story.
I remember there was a little period with Kingdom Hearts where they were just revisiting the same worlds in each game, and I was like, what's the point of this?
Right.
God, there was one game that came out and they announced there was one new world that we hadn't seen before in it, and I was like, that shouldn't be something we're excited about. It should be normal.
Why am I paying $60 for one new world?
Anyway, she also played Chiyo in Azumanga Daioh and Dengakuman in Bobobo Bobobo.
I should know. Dengakuman. Bobobo. Oh! I remember Dengakuman.
Oh, it's the guy who looks like a little washed out chow.
I don't remember what his deal was, but it's Bobobo, so it was funny.
I clicked on the wiki and the first thing, or one of the first things it says is that he could possibly be a parody of the Chow from Sonic the Hedgehog. She also played Kalumon in Digimon. I think I know which one that is. The ear is the one with the ears. She played Fuku in Tenchi Muyo, and she played Marie in Please Teacher and Please Twins.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the Please series?
No, only that it exists.
Yeah, every time I see the name, I'm like, that sounds like porn.
That's why I never looked into it, because I heard the name when I was like 18 or 19. I'm like, I am not gonna Google that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's porn, but it sounds like it would be.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it is. Anyway. We also have his brother Mighty, played by Hiroki Takahashi, who is the official voice of Ryu from Street Fighter 4 onwards.
Cool.
He also played Impmon in the same show that that Kalumon was in Digimon Tamers.
Uh-huh.
In fact, they were like kind of counterparts of each other. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. Impmon was like the evil Kalumon.
Oh.
He also played Japan in the Hetalia series.
Okay.
I feel like that's quite an honor. Playing the country the series was made in.
Right.
Hisoka in Hunter x Hunter, Eiji in Prince of Tennis, and Joey Wheeler in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, our boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not called Joey Wheeler in the Japanese version, but I wrote Joey Wheeler because that's how we know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was assuming that this scene was like them saying goodbye to each other, but we're not told anything about it here, really.
Yeah, I assumed it was his brother going off to war or whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah, it's just a brief flashback, and Mighty is snapped out of it by Dr. Ein because he's actually on a spaceship.
Yeah, just daydreaming about that time he had to leave his brother.
It seems like that's all he does all the time.
Well, we find out that they're going to his home world, and we learn that, one, because it is told to us, but two, because the world is shaped like a giant Bomberman head.
I love the design of Planet Bomber in this show.
What if Earth was just a human head?
Only if it was called Planet Human.
Planet Human?
Which maybe it will be someday.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's Planet Human. That's where all the humans live. So for anyone who's not looking at it, the head is like mostly forest, but then the round part, which is the face of a Bomberman, is the ocean. And then the eyes are like two long continents in that ocean.
Yeah.
And then the ball on the top of the Bomberman's head is the moon.
It's so dumb.
It's really good. I love it.
Dumb with a positive connotation, but dumb nonetheless.
Yeah. This is my favorite planet design I've ever seen in my life.
It's like the Mario spaceship.
It is like the Mario spaceship, but on a much bigger scale.
Right, but civilization flourishes on it.
I want to know the scale of it. The scale's got to be huge.
Yeah.
Because there must be like rivers and cities and stuff down there, but we can't see any.
No. We're in orbit.
Do you think they lived for like centuries on this planet before they invented space travel? And then they finally got up there to space and looked down and they were like, oh my god, it looks like a face.
What the fuck? Did you know about this?
Sweet Jesus.
Early cartographers are like, what in God's name?
Well, when you've got it all like unwrapped on a map, you might not see it.
That's true.
Especially like depending how the map's divided, like it could be cut right in the middle of the face. So you just might not know.
But what about when they wrapped it onto a globe?
Or what if it doesn't really come together until the moon's in the right spot, and that's when they're like, oh my god.
Oh!
Oh, anyway. We've got Dr. Ein here addressing the crew. He just looks like a human.
Yeah, who is this human man?
He's played by...
From Planet Human.
Yeah, I don't know. Now that I think about it, Biederman it took place in like the Earth solar system, right? It was just the Earth planets.
Yeah, because they had a base on like Neptune or something.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But this one's actually like an alien lilac system type deal. Dr. Ein is played by Kenichi Ogata, who we know.
Yeah.
He's King DDD in the Kirby anime.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, we should watch it sometime. Once I read that he was King DDD, I listened to his voice again and I was like, oh yeah, that's King DDD's voice.
Every time I hear an older man like that in these anime, I'm always like, I know I've heard that voice.
Yeah, they're all pretty similar. I could have
Yeah.
easily convinced myself it was Eggman's voice as well, to be honest. When I first saw the name, I knew I recognized the name, but I couldn't think who it was. And I was like, is it Professor Oak? Dr. Ein tells the Jetters that the Hige Hige bandits are after the Cosmo Diamond. The only diamond in the universe that shines in 7 colors.
We're not told why it's important, but we're told over and over that it's very important.
It's very important because it's the only diamond in the universe that shines in 7 colors.
Wow.
The next best thing they got only shines in 6 colors.
Pathetic.
Yeah. You'll start forgetting what that 7th color is if you don't see it in the diamond.
You're so entranced by the diamond that you can't look beyond it.
The diamond gets taken, and then like everything that's red starts fading to white in the world. They've stolen the seventh color.
Oh no! It's like that mime in the Powerpuff Girls episode that drained all the color from the world.
Yeah, except it's only one color.
Well, it could be all of them with some inferior diamond.
So they're getting this briefing on the mission, and the whole time Mighty is just looking at his phone.
He's just staring at a picture of him and his brother.
Yeah, when the briefing's done, the guy sitting next to Mighty notices, and he doesn't like get mad or anything. He's just like, "Oh, is that your brother?" And I thought he was quite nice. I liked him.
They're friends. He's not gonna be a weirdo.
Did they say his name in this episode?
Birdie?
It is okay. Yeah, his name is Birdie. Couldn't remember if they actually said it or not, but Birdie is this is like he's a really cool. He's like a Falco type.
And if you couldn't guess, he is a bird.
Yeah, he's like a suave mercenary, and his name is Birdie. He's played by Masami Iwasaki, who we also know. You'll never guess who he was, though.
Magical Princess Minky Momo.
You wish. Or I wish. No, he was the voice of one of my favorite characters, Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yay!
Yeah, he played my buddy Gumshoe in the Ace Attorney anime. And I wouldn't think of these two characters as having any crossover, but there you go.
No.
I laughed at the line, "Oh, I see, you're from Bomber Planet."
You, Bomberman, are from Bomber Planet, shaped like your head.
I never would have guessed until I saw the photo of you and your brother.
Until I happened to watch you reminisce over that photo while going to Planet Bomber.
Orbiting the planet shaped like your head. Like, I guess it's nice that he didn't, generalize. It's like, oh, I see that you're a bomber, but you could have been raised on any planet.
I don't know. I don't know if it works like that.
Yeah, I don't know either. So Birdie tells Mighty that he should go and see his brother before the mission, since they're going to his home planet and he hasn't been back there in a while. And everyone on this ship seems really nice.
Too nice for whatever mercenary gang they are.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry about it. As long as you don't take too long, it'll be fine if you spend some time with your brother. And then there's that big hairy guy in the background who's just smiling sweetly.
We're just guarding the most important diamond in the universe. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Although, I guess if they're familiar with the villains and they are used to the kind of incompetence that we see here, then maybe they had a point.
You say that, but they almost got away with it.
Yeah, but only because of Shirobon's incompetence.
Nevertheless, they almost succeeded. Because of Shirobon.
Yeah. So we go to a town now on Planet Bomber where there's a big explosion in a building on a hill overlooking the town. And an old lady enters the room that exploded, and she finds Shirobon here, lying in the wreckage.
Having done massive damage to her house.
So this is Momo, also known as Granny Bomber.
Granny Bomber.
She is played by Kaori Aso, who hasn't had a lot of roles in Japanese stuff. She is the voice of Tikal in the Sonic series. But I was more interested in her dubbing history.
Yeah.
Because she's the official voice of Princess Jasmine in, like, across Disney franchises.
Mm-hmm.
She was Blossom from Powerpuff Girls.
Okay.
She is the voice of Mary Poppins.
Okay.
And she played Roxanne in the Goofy movie. That's Max's love interest. So she's the voice of all these iconic characters.
The Mary Poppins?
The Mary Poppins. That's definitely the biggest one, I think. That's the only thing where she played someone from a self-titled movie.
She is the star.
So she accuses Shirobon of messing up because he was thinking about lunch, and he denies it in a way that confirms it.
I don't really understand these bombs. The magic behind the bombs in this universe.
No, but I do appreciate that we actually have a Bomberman here who makes bombs instead of shooting marbles from his stomach.
How dare you?
It bothered me. Why was he even called Bomberman in that show?
Because he's from Planet Bomber.
In most incarnations of Bomberman, Bomberman is a robot that makes bombs. And I feel like you don't really need... You know, I could believe that a robot just produces bombs.
Right.
But in this, if they are robots, that's not clear. And it sure does seem like the bombs are a kind of magic. And
yeah,
if you're using magic to summon things, black cartoon bomb balls seems like an odd thing to be summoning.
I think it's perfect. What is a more perfect shape than a cartoon bomb?
There is no more perfect shape. It's just not magic, that's all. It's not a magic shape.
All right, so it doesn't have the smoke and mirrors. Does it get the job done? Yes.
I love how you've gone from a skeptic of these magic bombs to a defender of them in such a short period of time.
I'm playing both sides.
I'm unclear whether this old lady is his actual grandmother or just his teacher, who's like honorifically called grandmother. I guess it doesn't really make a difference.
No.
There's Rui here as well. He doesn't really do anything, but he's here.
Yeah.
Rui is a Rui, also sometimes known as a Louie. And they've been a recurring part of the franchise since Bomberman 94. I've also managed to skip every game that they were in.
Okay.
But they're basically the Bomberman series is Yoshi.
They're pretty cute.
Yeah, I like them. I've seen them a lot. I've never played a game that they were in, but I see them all the time. I don't know how useful it is to be able to ride on a creature in a Bomberman game, but...
No, it doesn't seem like something that you would really need.
Yeah, it's not like you're traveling distances.
You gotta get off and throw bombs all the time.
I think you can throw them from on its back, but I don't know. I haven't played one, so I don't know the mechanics. Rui is played by Haruhi Terada, who is now known as Haruhi Nanao, because she changed her name to her mother's maiden name after her parents got divorced.
Oh.
Assuming she didn't think too much of her dad.
That is what it implies, yes.
Yeah. I know her mostly as the voice of Pumpkinmon from Digimon. One of my favorite Digimon.
Is he a pumpkin?
He's got a pumpkin head with an axe in it. He's great. Wait, I'll get you a picture of him. I think you'll like him too.
We'll see about that.
Here he is.
Yeah, he's alright.
She also played Sella in Fate Stay Night and Ayaka in Tenshi Muyo, and she was Mai in Yu-Gi-Oh! My Valentine.
I always get her confused with Faye Valentine.
Yeah. She's called Mai in both English and Japanese, but she's only My Valentine in the English version.
Gotcha. Weird addition.
Whereas Faye Valentine is Faye Valentine in every version. She's also the dub voice of Gaz from Invader Zim.
Okay.
So I wanted to say that because I like Invader Zim. So Bomberman's outside. He's on the stairs that lead up to, I guess it's like a like temple shrine area. It looks like.
Yeah. Like wherever teaching gets done of the sacred art of
the bomb dojo.
Cartoon bombs.
It's like a shrine and a dojo to the concept of bombs.
Dojos are always up several flights of stairs.
I know the Hazuki dojo was. So he's on the steps and he creates a small bomb and then he accidentally drops it on the stairs where it bounces down towards the town.
Well, he's mad because she got after him for one mistake and then he immediately almost explodes a little girl.
Yeah, there's a little girl at the bottom of the stairs. It's very dramatic as he's chasing this bomb down the stairs. And she's just looking at, she's got like a note in her hand that she's looking at. It's all like slow motion and there's loads of different shots. But she gets snatched off of her bike at the last second. She's just standing there on like a hover bike that she has. She gets snatched.
She sees the bomb coming and she just cowers in fear and is spirited away by a mysterious stranger.
I figured it was Mighty immediately, even before we see him.
Well, duh.
But I thought as the bomb went down towards her bike, I was like, oh no, we're going to have another Ash Ketchum situation. It's going to be another destroyed bike on our hands. But the bomb just, like, popped like a bubble.
Yeah, this is where the magic of bombs doesn't make sense. Like, was there nothing in his heart, and so the bomb just kind of fizzled?
Yeah, I think the problem is that he's just, like, not able to create actually dangerous bombs yet.
But he just exploded the wall in Granny's house.
I know, but that was a misfire, I think. I don't think he can do it. I think when he's like been trying to do it, it's either too small or too big, and there's no in between. And most of the times that he makes a bomb in this show, it goes the too small end of the spectrum. So Mighty saves the girl from the bomb that wouldn't have hurt her anyway, and then he yells at his brother for being irresponsible with bombs. And then there's this like very long sequence.
This was a weird scene because it kind of implies a tension between the brothers.
Yeah, because as soon as he sees Mighty, White Bomber is like excited and starts to greet him, but he gets interrupted by the scolding that he receives. And then he just stands there on the steps looking sad. And
he just kind of stares up at his brother without any real emotion behind his eyes.
And it's a while again before Mighty acknowledges him again, and it definitely... I wasn't sure what they were going for, because I thought, as it went on for a long time, I thought
there were a lot of prolonged scenes in this episode.
And every single one of them is Mighty walking. Did you notice that?
No.
I did. So Grandma comes down and greets Mighty, and she invites him in for tea, and he starts walking up the stairs, and it's just... I thought the point of the scene was either that Mighty was going to continue all the way up the stairs without turning back to his brother, implying, the distance between them, or that he was going to walk a little bit up the stairs and then turn back to his brother and be like, are you coming? Showing that he cares for his brother. But kind of neither of those things happens.
Well, I assumed that Shirobon was upset about the little girl and would stop to help her. But, like, just the weird implied tension between the brothers was interesting.
He does turn back to call Shirobon, but it doesn't have the connotation that I thought it would, because when he turns back, Shirobon he's now with the little girl. Because she gets in the long protracted sequence, she becomes involved as well at some point with all these shots of the back of her head. And I was like, oh, okay, what's happening now?
Because he felt bad about almost exploding her, and she was clearly upset.
Yeah, so when Mighty turns back, Shiro is offering the little girl a red orb. And Mighty starts scolding him again for treating bombs carelessly. But Shiro fills the whole sky with balls of various colors, and it's pretty. It's nice. And Mighty remembers the flashback again.
For some reason.
And then the red orb that Shiro is holding pops, and it turns into a Charabomb balloon, which he gives to the girl. So there are no other Charabombs in this episode, but Charabombs are a thing that were introduced in Bomberman 64, The Second Attack, which is Bomberman 64 2, basically. And I think they're more prominently featured in this show later on. They're basically Bomberman trying to do a Pokemon.
Okay.
Rui's a Bomberman trying to do a Yoshi. Charabomb's a Bomberman trying to do a Pikachu.
This just furthered my confusion about bomb magic. Because he clearly has control of, like, his non-lethal bombs.
Yeah, and do these count
Why
as
does
bombs?
he have non-lethal bombs?
Like, that bomb turned into a balloon. Is a balloon a kind of bomb?
Right. Floating orbs are bombs now?
Maybe balloons are a type of bomb.
If you think about it.
They do explode.
I bet if you lit the string on fire and waited for it to catch up, it would explode like a bomb.
I can't believe I've never seen that done in like a cartoon or something.
Tom and Jerry, get on that.
But now, we change scenes to the museum where someone appears to be watching an episode of Seinfeld.
That was so weird. Why was it just Seinfeld music? Like, to the note, Seinfeld. At first I was like, okay, that's a weird coincidence, but it kept going.
If somebody made like an abridged version of this and just had the Seinfeld theme there, I would just be no, if they just had this music there, I would just be like, why did the abridged people put the Seinfeld theme in here?
Right.
But this is the real show and it's just the Seinfeld theme.
It was a weird choice.
So Birdie is here. He's guarding the Cosmo Diamond with a group of bomber guards, while Mujo watches with his binoculars.
Right, we're introduced to this man and his giant bulge.
Yeah, so Mujo appears to be a human man. This is what I've written. Mujo appears to be a human man with blonde hair, tan skin, and an enormous penis.
You can't tether that beast.
Or maybe he has a really tiny penis and he just has massive balls.
Maybe.
Could go either way. This is another recurring character in the Bomberman series. He's been around since Saturn Bomberman. He was introduced alongside the Hige Hige Bandits. But in the English version of Saturn Bomberman, his name was changed to Mr. Meanie.
Mr. Meanie! I can't get over it. Meanie is the least threatening word in the English language.
Mr. Meanie and the Meanie Gang.
That is a children's show.
Yeah, they sound like Lazy Town villains.
I was just gonna say, it's worse than Robbie Rotten.
Oh yeah, it's much worse.
These guys would never be number one.
No. Mujo is played by Koji Ishii, who played Ryuji in the Fatal Fury and King of Fighters series, Kimura in Azumanga Daioh, and he's the Japanese dub voice of Mojo Jojo.
Good.
So we've got some more Powerpuff Girls in here. We've got
Powers Puff.
Blossom and Mojo Jojo, because Mojo Jojo is one of the Powerpuff Girls.
I was gonna say, I don't remember him being part of the gang, but okay.
He's the green one, right?
I stopped watching the show after the movie came out and it got bad. So maybe he was a Powerpuff Girl.
Yeah, it got bad after they replaced Buttercup with Mojo Jojo.
They really jumped the shark with that one.
He's very happy about this long distance machine he has to steal the diamond, but the Hige Hige gang haven't finished building it yet.
They've lost a piece of it.
Oh, we don't know that yet.
Oh,
but they have.
Spoiled it.
It might not have happened yet. I hadn't quite fallen in love with the Hige Hige gang yet, but I will.
Yeah, we don't see them really do anything yet.
No. Back at the Bomber Planet. Oh, I guess this is all happening on Bomber Planet now. But I don't have a name for this place.
The Bomb Dojo?
Back at the Bomb Dojo. Mighty has finished his tea and is leaving the house. And Shirobomb is sitting outside with Ruri, sulking.
And Mighty asks him if he's gotten any bomb stars?
Yes, and we get no context for that.
None at all.
But when I was reading about Mighty, the wiki article said that Mighty possesses the 7th bomb star, so I guess there's more. I guess there's 7. I don't know.
But what are they? What do they do? Are they like gym badges?
That's what I thought at first. But Shiro says he already has one, right?
Yeah.
It feels like if they're that important, wouldn't we see him get all of them? He's already got one.
Maybe it's like the belt system. Maybe you need all 7 to get your black belt in bombs.
Maybe, but we've seen the level he's at. How's he got one?
He's at the balloon stage. He can successfully cater a party.
This is like if Ash already had the Boulder badge at the start of the Pokemon show before he got a Pokemon.
I mean, he has a Pokemon. It's sitting right next to him.
I got the Boulder Badge by going to Brock's gym and just throwing rocks until he gave it to me.
I threatened him with bombs.
I didn't throw him at his Pokemon. I threw him at him. Yeah, this scene's a little bit awkward. It seems like these two don't really know how to talk to each other.
Yeah, that's kind of implied throughout this whole reunion.
Yeah.
Because Mighty seems more distant and cold since he's seen the horrors of war or whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah.
And Shirobon is just kind of living his peaceful life, trying to understand what bombs are.
So Mighty asks him about the balloon thing that he did earlier. And Shiro says he came up with it by himself, but he doesn't think it's very useful. Mighty gets Shiro to throw a rock in the air as high as he can, and then he shoots it down with something that he calls bomber shoot. And for some reason, it hits the ground and turns into some flowers.
It didn't make any sense.
No, I don't know why that happened.
He's trying to teach him some lesson about the power of friendship or smiles or something, but it doesn't make any sense.
People, throughout this show, people keep saying your power is inside your heart, not the bombs. And I kind of feel like that's the problem that Shirobon is having.
He has too much heart and not enough bomb.
All of the power is in his heart, and then there's none of it in the bombs.
Some of it is also in his stomach if lunch makes him explode.
Well, they finally bond a little bit, but then Birdie calls Mighty and is like, "Hey, I know you said spend time with your brother, but we do still have a mission to do here."
The bosses are asking about you, and I can only pretend that you're here. Do a puppet for so long before they get wise.
I did clock in for you, but if someone shows up and you're not here and you're clocked in, I'm gonna be the one that they look at. So.
Oh, what's that, boss? Oh, I'm just talking to Mighty. Hello, boss man. I am here standing.
I am under the table. Don't look.
Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom.
Don't look. So Mighty hops on his flying bike. There's a lot of flying bikes in this show. They're cool.
It's the future.
It's not. It's the space. It's the other space time.
It's the space.
There's two types, right? There's the future and there's the space.
Space and time. I played that Pokemon game.
Like Star Wars isn't the future, it's just the space, but it happened a long time ago.
Yeah, but it's space future.
But it's a long time ago. It says so.
But it's future to us. Us primitive apes who have only just learned to make fire.
Well, yeah, if we were going to do a Star War, it would have to be in the future. You're right. That's true.
Did you know that E.T. is a Star War?
No. Who's
in one of the like big crowd scenes? You can see a couple E's-T.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, they were buddies, weren't they? Spielberg and Lucas.
Yeah.
They did stuff together. They rode bikes together.
Yeah, and flew when E.T. propelled it up into the sky.
Yeah, just like in Hitman.
Yeah.
Mighty says he's going to come back and spend some more time with Shirobon when the mission is done. But over at the museum, Mujo is still waiting for his machine to be ready, but there's a part missing.
Oh, you bumbling Hige.
One of the Hige bandits got tired and he set the part down to eat his lunch.
And he just didn't pick it back up.
I love when he tells Mujo that. Mujo's like, oh yeah, the salmon was good.
I understand completely. I would have done the same.
I love these guys. These are our Team Rocket for this show, clearly.
Yeah.
This is where I really fell in love with the Hige bandits. Shiro is riding Rui to the museum to prove that he can be useful.
By getting in the way.
Yeah, he happens across the missing part at the same time the Hige gang find it.
That was a good scene.
It was.
Where we see the part and then immediately it cuts to Shirobon and behind him is a whole fleet of Hige.
Yeah, they're all just looking at it. And they tell him what it is. They seem pretty friendly, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think they have a dog in this fight.
no, they're just like there and they're just chatting with him. And then he just starts throwing bombs at them. And that's when they panic and run away. And then when they realize his bombs don't do anything, they just start advancing on him.
It's just an impotent fart.
Yeah. But I don't think that they would have like gone after him if he hadn't started throwing bombs at them. I think they would have just been like, "Hey, friend, that's our part. See you later."
We're just gonna take this and go.
Oh, what is it? It's a part for our machine that we're building so we can steal the diamond. Anyway, see ya.
I mean, to be fair, they weren't exactly the ones that did anything to him. He got kidnapped by Mujo.
That's true, but they were advancing on him with angry faces.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
They could have just tickled him.
Yeah, what would they would have been like, you know, when like a playful dog catches up with a cat and then doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mujo now has Shirobon and realizes that it's Mighty's brother.
Because he announced it loudly.
Yeah, he's a little fool. So then he's like, well, instead of doing the whole plan with the machine, let's just ransom this child for the diamond. Which honestly is a way better plan and way more likely to succeed.
Right. And it was succeeding.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yeah. We see that Rui gets away. He runs off someplace. I thought he was going to go and warn Mighty, but apparently he went off to get Grandma, because that's the next time we see him.
She's more powerful than Mighty.
At the museum, Mujo bursts in through the window and confronts the Jettas directly.
I feel like you could have just done that to steal the diamond, really.
Yeah, but, you know, he had his whole long-distance plan.
I guess he did.
Mighty takes the diamond and he goes up to hand it over in another extremely long scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
And, like, Birdie just keeps saying Mighty's name over and over again.
Mighty! Mighty! Oi!
If the scene was half as long, it wouldn't seem so strange. But he's just like, Mighty! 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 And it's like, Birdie, you could stop him if you want, if you want to stop him. But he's just like, hey!
He's moving at a glacial pace. If you just want to walk over and, like, grab his hand or something, there's nothing stopping you.
But right when he's about to hand the diamond over to Mujo, he gets shot with a laser beam from outside.
It's super dramatic.
It's so dramatic, yeah. I thought for sure he was dead.
Yeah, it certainly implied that he was dead.
Until he wasn't.
I wonder if Shirobon's friendship bomb had something to do with that.
Maybe. Yeah, Mujo is even confused by this. But then the Hige Hige gang radio in and they're like, the machine's out of control for some reason.
Right, the seriousness of this death is immediately undercut by the Hige Hige bandits panicking as this gun just fires willy-nilly.
They made this episode for me. Like, I just want a whole show about the Hige Hige.
They're pretty good.
So, in the confusion, Birdie tackles Mujo and tells Shirobon to run. But Shirobon has a flashback to the sunset again. And then we see that Mighty told him that he loved him. And it was cute.
It was, but it's just another scene that went on a little too long.
Yeah, we went back to this flashback so many times. And, like, I knew that there was going to be some revelation in the flashback, but Mighty loving his brother wasn't the revelation I thought we were going to get.
Right, like, it's clear he loves his brother. The fact that he has his picture on his phone and he
wistfully
abandoned
gazes
his
at it.
duties to go, yeah. Like, we know.
Yeah, but Shirobon didn't know, even though his brother already told him. He only remembered it in this moment.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part.
So he starts glowing with the righteous power of friendship.
That's the righteous power of hero.
Oh, you're right. It's the hero's light. I forgot. The glow knocks everybody down, and Granny and Rui arrive just in time to see him release a burst of energy that destroys the machine outside. It's like not a bomb. I feel like it should have been a bomb.
I thought it was gonna be a bomb.
It was much closer to a Biederman Marvel than a bomb.
We can't escape the marble. The marble is a part of us. If you look inside yourself, you will see a giant marble.
So Mujo gets away. Turns out Mighty's fine. They run over to him, and where I was expecting to hear his dying words, he's just like, oh, I'm fine, actually. Birdie gets a call from Dr. Ein saying that they need to get to planet Nonbiri, because that's where the Hige Hige are targeting next. And
why? Who knows? The diamond is still here.
yeah. And then as the sun sets, Mighty says goodbye to Shirobon and shows him that he's learned Shiro's balloon technique for some reason.
I'm sure that will aid him in his battle.
He just learned it to show his brother that he thinks his technique is cool.
I think it implies that he has taken something from the sweetness and innocence of his younger brother
Oh, yeah.
that perhaps he himself has lost.
Yeah, because he says being a hero isn't just about being strong, it's about being kind, and that he's learned that from Shiro. So,
Yeah.
like, I saw you being nice to that little girl, and it reminded me that I need to make balloons too sometimes.
I've never been nice in my life, little girl or no, and I make balloons now.
The end. No, Mighty leaves with the Jettas, and Grandma says that the light that encompassed Shiro was the hero's light.
Oh no.
She addresses him in this comment. She addresses this comment to Shirobon, but she mumbles it, standing quite a long way behind him. So he doesn't hear it.
I don't think he heard.
No. And then she like kind of changes her mind about it after seeing him acting like a kid saying goodbye to his brother. And then the narrator tells us that Shirobon is going to become a Jetta and that that's very unpredictable. It's not.
It's not at all.
The ending here was super abrupt, I thought. The ending animation was kind of boring.
The ending song was boring.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
It was like oddly spooky in a way. Did you think that?
僕が落とした涙そっと両手ですくって壊れそうなシャボン玉ひとつお空に浮かべて笑った
No, I thought it was like the lyrics, it didn't have a rhythm to it. It didn't have a flow to it. It didn't sound good.
There isn't really much animation. It's pretty much just a line boiling pencil sketch of Bomberman. For anyone who doesn't know, line boiling is what we call it when the outlines.
You got some woogly line
Yeah,
art.
the woogly line art. That's called line boiling.
Like all of Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Yeah, but that's all it is. He's not like moving, he's not walking or running or anything. He's just standing there and boiling his lines, and the camera just swoops around it.
Are you boiling your lines against Shirobon?
No!
I can hear you boiling your lines in there.
Do you think that's something like animated characters, like Tiny Toons characters, when they're children, their parents are like, are you line boiling in here?
You know we don't do that on this show.
We're not a line boiling family.
I don't want it in my house.
It's straight ahead, frame by frame animation only in my family. You want a line boil? You go live with your aunt.
And I swear to God, if I see you smear your frames one more time.
This is what I get for marrying an anime. So what did you think of this show?
It's fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I liked it, but this episode didn't feel very substantial. And I think that's partly down to the first episode syndrome that we encounter a lot.
Right.
But also, it didn't need to have as many like long drawn out scenes as it did.
It's like they were really struggling to fill the time slot.
Yeah, I didn't need to see Mighty walking in slow motion so much. It's like, what were the scenes that went on too long? The bomb falling down the stairs, Mighty walking up the stairs, and Mighty walking with the diamond to give it to Mujo. All of those things went on for way too long.
Right. Meanwhile, we get minimum Hige Hige.
Yeah. So I would definitely watch more. I enjoyed it enough that I want to come back to this, but I hope for more Hige Hige shenanigans in future.
Yeah. I want more comedy, less drama.
I know there's plenty coming up. Like when I was looking up the Hige Hige bandits, I know at some point there's a Hige Hige bandit who is stationed on Planet Bomber to like just spy on them and just be a regular like worker on Planet Bomber, and it's just a Hige Hige in a suit with a fake mustache on.
I love
and
it.
I want to see that episode. There is no dub since it was never released in English, but
Is there a legacy?
there might be a legacy.
Uh-oh, we haven't had one of these.
No, I don't think we've had a legacy to speak of this year.
That's wild.
I feel like everything we've done so far this year, there's been like either no legacy or no legacy I could find. But this one has some stuff.
Yeah?
So if the manga were based on the show, then there's them. They did both release earlier than the show, but, you know, like I said, a manga doesn't take as long to make as a show does. There were 4 games released under the Jetta's name, and
Yeah.
I've looked into all of them.
You mad man?
So the first one was Bomberman Jetta's The Legendary Bomberman, which released for the Game Boy Advance in between the 4th and 5th episodes of the show airing. So here's something that you won't know. In between this episode and the next episode, there is a 6-month time skip.
Okay.
During that 6-month time skip, Mighty disappears.
Okay.
And that's why Shirobon joins the Jettas in episode 2 to take his brother's
Gotcha.
place while they like look for him or whatever.
Right, replacement dog.
Yeah. So the framing of the game is at the beginning of the game, they're looking at something on the ship that like brings back memories of an old mission. And then Birdie starts telling Shirobon the story of what happened when his brother went missing. So the game is actually you playing through the mission on planet Nonbiri that they are leaving for at the end of this episode we watched.
Oh.
I think that's neat.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. So in the game you play as Mighty through the whole thing, which I think is cool.
And we learn how he disappears.
Yeah, I like tie-in stuff like that. I wish people would make more tie-in things that are side stories to the main thing. I think that's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, that way you're not reliant on one piece of media or the other. But if you want more information, you got it.
Exactly. And it also means that, because I feel like if you're making a Bomberman Jetta's game, you're probably mostly selling it to Bomberman Jetta's fans.
Right.
And if you're just retelling the story of the anime, it's like, why? I've already seen this, you know? I guess it's the same way I feel about the Ace Attorney show, where if that show had all been new cases that like slotted in between the cases of the games, I would have been more into it, I think.
Mm.
Anyway, next came Bomberman Jetta's for the GameCube and PlayStation 2. This is the only piece of Jetta's media that ever got an English release.
Oh.
This is the one I wanted when it came out. It was released about 2 months after the show started, but its links to the show are like kind of spotty and confusing. And from what I've read, a lot of fans have theorized that this game was actually supposed to be a sequel to Bomberman Generation, and that they turned it into a tie-in to the anime really late in development. So,
Yeah.
because most of the characters who are exclusive to the anime only appear in the game as voices over the radio.
Okay.
And most of the characters who are in the game and the anime were already in Bomberman Generations anyway.
Okay, that does check out.
And also, White Bomber's personality is completely different from the show, and he acts much more like he did in Generations. And there's no mention of Mighty at all anywhere in the game. So I'm thinking, yeah, it sounds to me like this was supposed to be Bomberman Generations 2, and they just went, hey, slap the show on it.
But what if it was a jetter?
And then we had Bomberman Jetta's Mobile, which was a short platformer made for phones in 2003. Then later in 2008, it got re-released as Bomberman Planet with updated graphics and all references to Jettas removed.
Oh no.
I don't think the references to Jettas were very strong anyway, though. I think it was mostly just the title screen.
They're trying to erase the jetters.
And finally, the most recent release in the Jettas series was Bomberman Jetta's Game Collection for Game Boy Advance in late 2003.
Oh.
And this one was a minigame collection. It had a standard Bomberman multiplayer battle mode. And it also had pinball and a collection of 16 small kind of Game & Watch-ish games.
Yeah.
And a gallery of artwork from Jettas that you could look at. And that's it. The
Wow.
show ended in 2003. The PS2 and GameCube game released in the US in 2004. And that was the end of Jettas as far as I could find.
They're dead.
They're dead, they're gone.
They all disappeared.
None of the Jettas exclusive characters seem to have returned in the Bomberman series. The guys who already existed in Bomberman are still around, but
Right.
as far as I can tell, Birdie didn't enter the main series.
Not Birdie.
Mighty didn't enter the main series.
Oh, I'm not that upset about that one.
The big hairy guy in the background. He didn't, you know, we saw him a few times in this episode, but I didn't talk about him because he doesn't get properly introduced until the next episode.
Yeah.
But he looks cute. I don't know anything about him, but he looks cute.
Yeah, he's fun.
That's it.
Cool.
I enjoyed.
I think future episodes will be better.
Oh, definitely. I think that's a given. Yeah. I think in general, you know, what show have we watched? We say this all the time. Or I say this all the time. The only show we've watched where I think I was fully on board at episode 1 is Pokemon.
Bullshit. Tower of Druaga.
I don't remember anything about Tower of Druaga.
I remember it was very funny.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but
It's-
we'll have to watch it again then.
Yeah.
There are definitely other things where I liked the first episode, but I don't know. I feel like most first episodes are lacking something.
I know there's been a couple that we liked, but that's the only other one that's coming to mind right
What
now.
about Bubsy?
Loved it. Absolutely couldn't get enough of it.
I think Bubsy was the first episode we ever did that got a dislike.
We were too harsh on Lil Bubsy.
Oh, actually, no, Sonic Underground got a dislike as well.
They don't like it when we don't like it.
No, that when we really don't like something, there's always someone who loves it who doesn't like that we didn't like
Yeah.
it. It's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, such is life. We can't all like the same things.
We didn't get any dislikes on Pac-Man Ghostly Adventures that I know of, though.
Give it some time to cook.
Well, thank you for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marley the Changeling, for requesting this episode.
Yeah. Thanks for being a member of our club, Mesmeron.
Yeah, Marley has a podcast called The Sonic Second, which you can go check out. It is about Sonic Underground, a show that we just mentioned hating.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you want a podcast that covers Sonic Underground more thoroughly than we ever will, there you go. There's your one-stop option for that. Also, thank you to our club VIPs, Mark Kelly and Jamie Core.
Thanks, friends.
We appreciate everything you do.
Yeah.
Everything. Except that one thing.
You know.
You know what you did.
We won't repeat it here.
No.
It's too foul.
I am Skull Pirate Mike, and you can find me on the internet and any place where I'm using that name. Don't go to Twitter. Just leave Twitter. Why are you on Twitter still? It's just all bots
No
now.
one should be there.
We don't post updates on Twitter anymore, but if you want updates, I have a feed for the show on my Blue Sky account. Come check it out. Come follow the feed for Super Breakfast Friends
Yeah.
Club.
I don't post updates anywhere.
No, if you want updates from Mel, you better send a wish to the heavens.
You better have a carrier pigeon and a bright idea.
And a solid $50.
And a song in your heart.
Bye!
Okay, so I went to Google to look up Dark Mother. Of course, I typed it in wrong the first time, and I went to correct myself. I'm just looking at the images right now, but the third row is our episode of Bomberman.
Oh, really?
Man.
Wow.
Weird. No one's talking about Dark Mother but us.
This is where you gotta come for all your Dark Mother needs.
We really cornered that market.
That's good. I like to know which markets we've cornered.